Welcome everyone to our team meeting of this week. It's 2015. Welcome everyone. Let's start out with a round of gratitude.
There she is.
Gratitude time. I thought you were still on your trip. Are you back already?
Yeah, I'm gone this week.
Carmen, I just muted you because we're getting a lot of, sounds like you're driving a big diesel truck or something. It's been 2 weeks already, Penny?
Yep. Well, yeah, it's been 2 weeks. I missed 2 Mondays.
All right. Tell us, how was it?
It was very fun. We had a wonderful time.
Oh, good.
It was really great. I enjoyed it a lot. But it's good to be home. And that's my gratitude that I'm home. I won't say it went perfectly well. I won't say that I didn't gain a few pounds, but it's going to come right off. I'm not too concerned about it. I think I said in ketosis, I just did what I thought I would do, and that was I overate, but I never ate any I never had too many carbs or anything like that.
Still sounds like overall win.
Yeah, I'm not dissatisfied for sure.
Good.
Well, I'm thankful just still continuing my plan. So back to the basics and decided to keep going in November.
Cool. Yeah, I think I saw Karen H post back to basics November, which I think is great. So here, Carmen, unmute you, Carmen. Do you got gratitude to share?
I do. Our neighbor last year lost his wife, and shortly afterwards, about 6 months later, they had a big flood in their home. So they've been at my house for at least the past 6 months.
Oh, wow.
In and out. The daughter actually lived with me for about 3 months, and they had dinner with us every night. And now they're kind of doing their own thing, but the kids are still coming over. And what I'm grateful for is that I'm able to help this family.
Mm-hmm.
The kids come over starving all the time, and it just breaks my heart.
Oh.
And they're not little kids. You know, they're 16, 17. 16 and 17, yes, and a little girl. But yeah, they're always starving, and I'm always telling them about healthy eating and so on. So I'm grateful that I can just feed these kids.
Mm. Oh boy. Let's see. I think it's my turn. And Karen may be having trouble getting her video on or such. I'm going to mute you again, Carmen, okay?
Yeah.
Let's see. Today, let's see. I don't know. It just feels like overall just gratitude for life and friends and family and just everything. Cleared out some cobwebs this weekend. I don't know, it's very vague, but just feeling grateful for all the people that I have in my life and just really good quality people and supportive, and grateful for all of them, including all of you. All right, we're doing gratitude. Sharon and Karen still. We got the full team here. Sharon, do you have oh, Karen, we can't hear you. So, Sharon, do you have a gratitude to start us out with while Karen's getting her audio working?
Oh, I had fun yesterday with the world's largest corn maze.
Oh.
And it was another tribute to the Apollo 11 50th anniversary. So I keep collecting those things this year, and it's fun that even into the fall this is still continuing. So it was the last day yesterday, and it was extremely muddy, but I made it through.
Like how
should have gone in September when it was 90.
Oh my gosh. How big, like from one end to the other, like half mile, quarter mile, a mile, or
no, if you walk the whole thing, it was like 9 3/4 miles or something.
What? Wow.
Oh yeah, it's
huge. Okay.
It's huge. And I don't know, I walked for an hour and a half to collect they had these different checkpoints, and you could check in, and then you got a certificate if you found them all. And so I just decided to do that as a mission. And so unfortunately my step tracker stopped working, so but I texted my brother when I was going in and when I got out, and it was an hour and a half.
Wow.
So probably 4 miles or so is what I ended up doing.
Wow.
Yeah, but a lot of that was in mud, so it was very slow. It certainly wasn't a race. But I kept both my shoes on and I didn't fall. So.
Wow.
But it was a lot of fun.
Cool. Let's see, can we hear you now, Karen?
I hope so.
Yay.
I gave up on my laptop and went back to my tablet. I am also doing a back to basics. Things have gotten completely out of control. And I'm thankful that I know where to go and what to do to get it back under control again. And I'm starting stickers.
You're starting what? What was the last part?
Stickers on a calendar.
Ah, cool. And I'm glad that you're here with us for this ongoing support, so that you don't
I feel like I don't belong as a coach because I've messed up so badly.
Well, the dirty little secret, Karen, is that everyone messes up. There's nobody that's perfect, so.
Okay. I'm here.
And this is the journey that all of the clients will be on as well, too. So nobody's going to be perfect forever. It's a false illusion. I guess illusion, that's redundant. False illusion, right? So just know that your experience of knowing what to do and getting back on is exactly the expertise that they need, and the guidance and the friendship and mentorship too.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, who had I think Cindy had a coaching call, right? Anyone else have a laser coaching?
No.
You had, it was Robin, right, Cindy?
Yes, Robin.
Do you want to debrief it?
Sure. It went well. It started a little differently because she just said, I'm not having any issues. I just want to talk to somebody who's been on the program a long time. I think we started, within a month or two of each other. And so that kind of left it a little different than honing in on one problem. However, it kind of wove its way around to some things we could talk about, like a specific thing for laser coaching. But she just kind of said she tunes into the calls, but everybody's at a different place. They're all kind of still just trying to figure out macros or this or that. And so, but that basically she's loving keto. She's exercising, working with a trainer, is aware and asked me, like, do people try to sabotage you or make you eat things? And so we just kind of talked about all of that, but then finally came up with, she wanted to also, I think, swear I wrote down the homework. Her homework was, in the end, to focus back on the whys, the non-scale victories. Now that she's where she wants to be. And she talked about how being where she wants to be is weird because she spent so much time in mental space not being where she wanted to be all her life, that it feels just strange. Mm-hmm. And so that's when we kind of hit on a good homework then would be reminding herself of those other reasons in order to stay on track. So it took a little bit longer than 15 minutes. I think at like 21 or something, but I think in the end it was good. And it made me think maybe there's a place in the future somehow for those who are on the alumni program to have a call just them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and so I talked to her she came on the coaching call on Thursday, and it was just her. So she did share that idea, but however, most of the people we have coming on the coaching calls right now are alumni members. So it kind of already is that. And the other thing that I reminded her too is that, you know, because she was apologizing, like, well, I'm in a different place and I'm not helping anyone else that's on these coaching calls. And so I don't feel like it's, you know, I'm being of value to everyone else. But I reminded her that it's not about she needs to give something to them or being at the same place. It's just hanging out. Like, I reminded her of the mirror neuron activation of just being with other people, that not only is that helping her stay on track, but that's helping everyone else stay on track as well too. And so she's like, oh my gosh, I thank you for that reminder. I totally forgot about that being one of the biggest parts. And frankly, that is the biggest part of coming on the coaching calls, is getting that mirror neuron activation and just being with a group of people that are all doing the same thing that you're doing. Now, they may be at different places on that journey, but they're still all at the core following keto as a way of living. That's, you know, so, and, you know, but the other thing is that, you know, having an alumni group just for the alumni, they're all going to be at different places as well, right? You might have somebody that's 3 months in, you might have somebody that's 2 months in, somebody that's at weight maintenance, somebody that still has 100 pounds to lose. So the underlying thing is still going to be the same as if, you know, the regular coaching calls too. So, I can understand like why she would think that way and want that. However, the ultimate, you know, her goal with that wouldn't be achieved basically unless we had like, okay, this call is for the people that are 1 year in and at weight maintenance, and this call is for people that are 2 years in and, you know, have put on muscle or something like that. I just don't have enough clients to make that kind of different segregation of coaching calls and make it worth it to have enough people on there for that support. But yeah, she expressed the same thing to me, and then after talking about that, I think she realized like, oh, okay, I guess that isn't really, you know, what would work. And she realized the value of coming on the coaching calls regardless. Yeah.
Carole, excuse me, Carmen's wanting to get let back into the meeting.
Yeah, I don't, oh, there she is. Okay. I missed the doorbell because I'm so, listen, there you are, Carmen.
Hello.
Hi. So in summary, it's just a little weird because she just really started out saying, I'm committed, I'm on this, I'm at maintenance, I have no issues. So It's like, oh, okay. So I think it was fine for what it was.
Yeah, and I think that happens too, because I have some standing clients that are doing weekly laser coaching with me. And a lot of times they do start out by saying, and the same thing happened to you too, right, Cindy? Oh, I don't have any issues at all. But if you get going, there's always something that that can be improved, or support wise. So that's kind of the the goal of those as well is, if people think everything is going great, well, what can get even better? What would you like to be even better? And it sounds like you guys figured that out, because she shared that you gave her some insights about looking at the victories instead of just the the why and the progress is more of the all of the little things, like she was sharing with me about how, I can just bend over and tie my shoe and don't have to worry about moving my belly out of the way or anything, or, trying to put my foot in the right place so that it's not too uncomfortable to tie my shoe.
And it was also not a video call, but she said that was her. So it's the second one of mine that was just a video call. I mean, audio call. Okay. Because one time the person was driving, and then this time she said, I just got out of the shower. I got out of the shower.
Okay.
So I've yet to do one face-to-face, but I figure when they dial in that way, it'll be that way. I don't know how it works on the other end.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the same, I think they have the same link that you have.
Well, I guess it's if they do it from their phone, then it's just going to be a call, right? Maybe. I don't know.
I suppose. I don't.
No, you can do video on your phone.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how you attach. It's kind of like this one. You can just call in, or you can do call in video. I did video, and I don't know. I showed up and she just popped on. So it's sort of just how you connect.
Okay. And then I have another one tonight with Raquel again.
Oh, okay.
And I thought I went in there and changed my settings, time zone, or anyway, it's not. It's later again. But and I tried to message her, like, can we go earlier? And I haven't heard back. So we'll make it work one way or the other.
Okay. Where's my, because what I found out, I think I messaged you all in the group chat, is that unfortunately for the Acuity, the calendaring, there's one primary time zone for the entire calendar. And so all of you, they said the workaround then was to have you each, adjust it. So set your availability in Pacific time zone, and then.
Right. So I thought I did that. I thought I switched mine a couple hours earlier.
Let me look and see what's. Well, and this will be your third one, Cindy. And so that was the whole thing. Like, you guys do 3, and then you're graduated from the free ones.
Have you been worrying about that? Is that what you're saying? Or like?
Well, we can still, and you and I need to talk about what this looks like for you with, but then after you guys each do 3 free ones, that's the final phase of your training. And then after that, the only ones that would be available to our clients they're going to have to pay for to do with you guys. So when you talk to Raquel tonight, let her know that if she likes it and wants to continue, that you've graduated now to full lifestyle support coach, and however we want to phrase it. But yeah, and then you and I can talk about what that looks like that makes sense for you.
Okay. So can you see on that scheduling thing what it says for me?
Yeah, let me look. Whoops. I gotta find the right spot. Okay, so it says today 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific. So that's going to be 6 to 8 your time.
Oh, so I did it wrong.
What do you want it to be?
I was just trying to get it to go earlier because that's like 100 o'clock here, especially with the time change. So
what
I
time?
was trying to do like 2 to 4 my time.
Okay. So I think you did the time zone backwards then. Okay. So so it would be noon to 2 my time then.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound very convenient for anyone that works, but let's just try that for now since.
Yeah, and keep in mind, people are all across the United States. They have different schedules. They can take a 15-minute lunch break if they're at work, right? So always pick what works for you, and then the people that can make that work will.
All right. No wonder I've got okay. So thank you. Oh, can you change it or do I need to?
Yeah, let me, whoops, did it do it or not? Let's see. Oh, it didn't save it. Let's see. There we go.
Maybe that's what I did before. I don't.
To 2. Okay, it's changed now. So noon to 2 Pacific on Mondays, which is 2 to 4 Central.
Okay, gotcha.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's easy for me to get confused. I was thinking, oh no, I have my call with y'all, but no, I don't.
It's yeah. And I've doing this as long as I have now. I've done the time zone math a lot now, but in the beginning too, it was like always so confusing about like which way forward, backwards. I don't know. So
right.
It's one of those math skills that do it long enough, and then your brain does it on autopilot for. All right. So Cindy will have done her 3. What's our tally then? Sharon, have you done 1 or 2? 1? Okay. Like Karen, you've done 1, right?
Yes.
And then Penny, have you 1 or 2? None. Okay. All right. So that's my job then, is to get you more. All right. Anybody have any thoughts or feedback about Cindy's session with Robin?
I liked what you said about asking them, well, what do you think you could do better? You know, what do you have to improve on, even though it's all going well? Mm-hmm. That's a good question.
Because they're typically there for a reason. I mean, and I know that because a lot of times they may say like, oh, everything's fine. But there is something in their mind that's like, well, this could be better or something. And I know that Robin really, I think her intention of coming on the call with you was to kind of pick your brain about like,
yeah,
you know, what are your tips for long-term success and strategy, which then is kind of a goal of whatever's working for you, she wanted to adopt as well, or take that and incorporate it into what she was doing. So she kind of did have a goal, even though, you know, wasn't phrasing it that way or didn't think of it that way.
Well, and also I was thinking right now you don't have a lot of your clients are alumni that are coming on, but that may not always be the case.
Right.
And so I was thinking maybe there would be a 1 day a week call with mostly just the peer support people that just come on and, you know, support each other, like kind of like we do in our meetings at the beginning of our meetings. But if any alumni want to come in, it would just be a benefit of being alumni when you have other clients that are taking up more basic stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but again, they're all like, even the alumni are at, you know, they could just be, you know, 10 weeks in and they're still having similar questions with the people at the beginning. And yeah.
Or they may have helpful things to say.
Yeah.
To those who are starting out.
And, you know, and the other, you know, consideration on my end is that, you know, one more hour of meetings per week is trying to find that in my schedule. The only thing that I have that is not leverageable is my hourly time. And it has to make a lot of sense to give up. So while an hour doesn't sound like much, it really is in my world, in my calendar. And if they can get the same thing on the other calls, then there's not really a benefit to them really to do that. So if it was a huge benefit and they were getting something completely different than what they're getting now, and they're you know, totally missing it, that would make sense. But it really is the same support is available there on the coaching calls that are existing now. So you know, and it may be as
and especially like she got an hour with you by herself.
Yeah. Yeah, which is funny because I even, you know, even people that are in the beginning and people that have been doing, you know, over a year, they always apologize for, oh, I don't want to take up too much of your time. It's like, no, I've set aside this time is for this coaching. Like, take it. Like, don't, because nobody else is there doesn't mean like, oh, I should go and not support you. It's, they're the ones who are missing out that aren't there. So let's just do this. Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, that was Robin, and I get that from other people too. It's like, well, I don't want to waste your time. And it's like, oh no, this is what this is for. And it's not less valuable to me or anyone else if there's just one person there versus 10 people there. So, yeah, I mean, it may be that, you know, moving into next year, I don't know what that's going to look like if I'm able to enroll in mass. You know, we've got hundreds of people coming on at one time. That would be a time, you know, again, if enrolling 100 people at a time, that may be time where we've got like a, you know, the beginner get started first week, you know, an extra bonus meeting just for those people or something like that. But also I think that, you know, those things are good for alumni to come on as well too, because it's a reminder of like, oh, that's right. This is how we, because all of you have that where your fits and starts of where things progressing, why have I regained a little bit. And so having those reminders too is always a good thing. So that may be even a perk for the alumni is we've got this bonus beginner coaching call and the alumni are welcome to come on as well, which is true for all of you. You are all always welcome. That's a perk for you guys. You're welcome to come on all the the coaching calls as well too for reinforcement, reboot, reboost. And Robin's alumni expires in a couple of weeks, and so her and I talked about doing you know, we're doing another exit interview with her, and I'm assuming she's going to stay on, but we'll see. And she's also taking off in a couple of weeks to go on a trip to New Orleans too. So any other thoughts, questions, feedback about alumni cruise control? I mean, and really, you know, maintenance for most people is the hardest part. And excuse me, because, you know, most of the time people are used to having this scale as their sole primary motivator for continuing. I got to get that number on that scale where I want it. And when you don't have that anymore, I mean, that's part of why along the journey, focusing on all the other reasons that you're doing this too is really important, because if you've developed that practice, that skill, that habit from the beginning, that you're looking at all the reasons you're doing this and everything that's improving, that's what's going to then when you get to your goal, the only thing that's, maintaining that number on the scale, and seeing it change isn't going to be the motivator, but you still have all the other things that you're watching and monitoring and continuing to improve too. Any questions or anything about your upcoming call tonight, Cindy? Do you have any?
No, she had some homework, and I think she kind of reported it on how she'd done. And so we'll just check in on that. I think I did email her after last time to say, how's it going? And then she said, I did this, this, and this. Can I set up another one? And I just said yes. Okay. So she was trying to track and weigh, work on bringing food in to her conferences and stuff, fasting instead of eating what they put before her. So I figure we'll just check in on that.
Okay. Any other, okay, so we talked about last week that Deanna, so I'm going to reach out to Deanna for, let me look at our list and see who else would be good. And
how about Ryan? He's my peer, I'm his peer coach.
Okay. Yeah, and I saw that email too from him that was blank this morning, and I'm like, I don't know what was up with that, but
yeah, no,
that was good. Good that you replied and checked in on him to see what was up. That was great. And Julie,
I just don't know anything about him, so
yeah,
some insight would be nice.
Oh, did you miss?
I did.
Let's see. So we do the, each of these meetings, we do record them and put them in that peer,
then you're right.
peer mentor thing. But let me find, like, where did I, oh, here we go. So, yeah, so Ryan is, he lives in Minneapolis. He's 39 years old, 6'2", current weight 255. His primary career is real estate developer, and so he flies back and forth between primarily Minnesota and Florida. He's got a 10-year-old son and 2-year-old daughter. He's been married to a spouse for 14 years. He is originally from England, and since he's moved here to the U.S., he's gained about 50 pounds. He lost a bunch of weight, various diet, powders and pills and that kind of stuff in the past, but was, looking for something sustainable. He has a history that he did keto on his own for about 6 weeks, and lost 15 pounds, but then he hit a plateau and went to the Facebook groups for answers. And he said the food police were in there and telling him that, like, well, it's because you're doing dirty keto. That's why, you're not losing. So dirty keto is a term that refers to like eating like fast food, not necessarily whole foods. And I told him, like, you can eat McDonald's every day if you want to, and as long as you're doing it right, and you're going to lose weight. So it's not about like, if you're eating fast food, you can't lose weight. It doesn't work that way. But so it's just, example of people don't know what the heck they're talking about in those Facebook groups, and they,
Carole,
so anyways.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah,
I just recently came across the dirty keto term, and when I asked the person what it was, she said you're not using the right sweeteners. So is it that in general? It's just general, it's ridiculous, let me judge you kind of thing?
Well, and it's one of those things that somebody came up with the term, and they, in their mind, had a definition of it, and then everybody else sees it online and makes up their own definition of it, right? So, so dirty keto, from the beginning of what I've seen it referred to as, you're eating, fast food, maybe even, Atkins bars and shakes and things like that too. as opposed to just eating real whole foods, which is the approach I teach. But it's one of those things that it's just a phrase and everybody's making up their own definition of it. You know, and then, you know, another term that's commonly out there is lazy keto, which typically just means you're not actually tracking, weighing, and measuring your food. You're just eating keto foods, and that's it. Those are some of the general terms that are out there and the definitions as I know them. But just like anything else, people make up stuff. You know, one of the, you know, another one that's out there is like, well, you know, that's not keto. But the truth is that anything in small enough portion could be keto, right? So if you had, you know, this much of some carby thing, technically you could stay in ketosis. It's not likely that you can control that portion size that way, but so it is just about, you know, anything can be in keto if it's low enough carbohydrate, because that's the only thing that actually controls that. So that's also another misnomer out there, is some foods are keto and some aren't. So that's why I always refer to as keto friendly, meaning that a normal portion is going to keep carbs low enough that you should be able to maintain ketosis. But that doesn't necessarily mean, it's kind of like nuts can be keto friendly, but if you eat enough of them, they're not. It'd be really hard to eat too much broccoli, but if you, you know, dehydrated broccoli and turn it into, you know, the crispy little broccoli things, you know, you could eat the equivalent of a couple of pounds of broccoli that way, and even broccoli could be not keto friendly if you eat too much of it. So okay, so I'll reach out to then Ryan, Julie, Deanna. Those are 3, and then let's look at the alumni and see who else, because we need, oh, my other page here. We really just need 3 people that are willing to do a few sessions, but we may need a few more people too. So, and actually Karen H, I think would be a good one. I should reach out to her to see if she'd want to do one of the, do laser. And, oh, and Karen S we talked about too. And yeah, I think that's 5 people, so that should be enough so that it can get you all the rest of your graduation internship.
Carole, just wanted to confirm it's still crickets from Carson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, any other client updates or questions, or? I know it's been a little quiet for you guys. Like I said, the last couple of months enrollments have been slower, and I've been kind of coasting on that. So I've got to this week dive in and get all our program rebranded. So yeah, it looks like at this point, you know, a relaunch in January of the new program. So Keto Lifestyle Solution, and then having the laser coaching as an add-on for people too. And maybe, you know, I'll throw in one starter one to get them started, and then additional available. All right, what other questions, updates, comments, concerns? Penny, are you, oh, okay.
Sorry, talking to my husband.
I saw the lips going, I was like, oh, is she mean to be talking to us? Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Any other topic you all want to talk about? Anything you have a question about, like something you're seeing on the internet you have a question about, or? Carmen does, I can see it.
Yeah. I just don't know how to phrase it. I have a cousin who's quite heavy, and I keep telling her about keto, but she's on blood thinners, and she said she could never do it because of the blood thinners. And I don't know how to respond to that.
There's, first of all, there's no medication that anyone could be on that, or any disease condition that people have that they can't do it. For certain medications and conditions, they need supervision from a, experienced healthcare provider or somebody that can, help support their primary doctor in monitoring it. So there's that as a basis. And also, especially blood thinners, zero problem with doing keto from that. So I'm going to guess. Yeah.
Sorry, her justification is that I'm on blood thinners because I guess she's also must have cholesterol, because high cholesterol, because she keeps tying it into, I've got too much of it already in my blood, and you're going to give me more fat.
Yeah. So I was going to say that that's probably her thinking. Her logic is that, well, I have heart issues, is why I'm on blood thinners, and keto's high fat, and that obviously is horrible for your heart. So I can't. And it also speaks to, like, she just doesn't even understand what blood thinners are doing. Like, blood thinners aren't taking fat out of your blood.
No.
What it does.
No.
It affects the clotting of it, which has nothing to do with the amount of fat in your blood. But it's just, lay people that aren't trained in human physiology or biochemistry, they don't know how the medications actually work. So, so a technique with people like that, and is feel, felt, found. And you can either do it from your perspective or somebody else. One of Carole's clients felt like that in the beginning as well. What they found was that actually, keto helps the reason you're taking the blood thinners in the first place. Wait. I skipped one. Feel, okay, so one of her clients
So feel?
She can feels that way. Why can't I even do it right? Right, the tenses are throwing me off. I know. The one I'm missing is, I can understand why you feel that way. One of Carole's clients also felt the same thing. What she found was, there we go, I did it right this time. So basically empathizing with how they feel. Somebody else had the same thing. They felt the same way. And they found that actually, and so you're not actually arguing with them. You're just giving them an example of, and this is a sales technique actually. But basically you're trying to sell her on keto, right? So she's throwing out objections about why she's not buying keto from you. And so one of the techniques of that is, and especially removing yourself from that whole equation, giving examples of other people. I've seen that now working with Carole, with a lot of other clients, that, I can understand why you feel that way, because that's a common thing that goes around, and misunderstanding, and that, yeah. So that's one thing, but also letting go. And typically people like that, they have to be ready to make those changes. And depending on their personality type, if they're a rebel, the more you try to encourage them to do it, the more they're going to dig in and push away. Yeah. So if you remember the Gretchen Rubin's tendencies, or the 4 tendencies of change that people make?
I don't know.
There's the quiz. If you search for 4 tendencies quiz, it might give you a sense of, what type of change she makes. So for some people, giving them a book or an article or a video to watch about it could be
That's what I do. I just send information to people like, here, read this. Here, listen to this.
Yeah. And also you just have to kind of like let go of your attachment to whether they do it or not. Because we're all adults and they get to decide, and nobody's going to make this major of a life change unless they really want to do it. You know, I've worked with people in the past that like, well, their doctor told them to do it and they didn't really want to, and they don't ever do anything. So, so it works best if they're, and you know,
it's your mindset. It's all about mindset. You have to be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Okay.
Yeah. And you know, she might also have like, I'm going to guess that I'm on blood thinners, I can't do it. It's just an objection. And it's also, or not an objection. It's just an excuse, not an excuse of like, oh, she's just being lazy or something like that. But to her, it's a safety thing. She's a belief that she has that's keeping her from actually having to make the change. And so as long as she holds on to that, then she doesn't have to, I can't. But if it was not true that you could do it if you're on blood thinners, then she'd have to face the facts that like she could.
Look at the top of that.
So that
tour, whatever it is, it's filthy.
We can hear that, Penny. Yeah. So you know, she's holding on to that belief so that she doesn't have to make the change. So.
Right. Okay. So I'll just leave her alone.
Yeah. You know, Carmen, somebody like that, what'll happen is that like you've been sharing information forever with her, and she'll throw up all these objections or something like that, and then you might not see her for 6 months or a year or something like that, and then either you'll see her and she's already followed keto and lost a bunch of weight and then forgot that you ever even told her anything about it, or she might actually like a few months down the road like, Carmen, I found this article about keto. Have you heard about this? Like, have you seen this? Did you see that Halle Berry is following this? And then you'll be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Wow.
That's new.
Yeah. That happens a lot of times with one of my sisters, right? Oh my gosh, have you heard of yoga? I love yoga. Oh yeah, that's cool. Never heard of it, but that's great. You go. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Carole.
What else? I'm trying to think of like product trends and things like that out there.
I know one of the things that really convinced me way back when was some really good scientific articles. I mean, not the latest and greatest, but fact-based articles that were particularly about cholesterol. And that was a big turnaround in my brain. But they have to be a decent, you can find any crap on anything you want. It's got to be a reputable study.
Yeah. All right. What else? Anything else?
Well, I have just spent some time learning about Facebook algorithms, which is Sharon probably would be able to really set me straight about this. And what I'm specifically looking at is private group algorithms. Mm-hmm. And it seems to me that it would behoove us, from what I learned, for all of us as your peer support to start posting more often individually, because that gets Carole's name out there more.
Well, the group for our members, though, is closed and private, so nobody can see it or search for it. But it will to the people that are in the group, right?
Well, yes, that's true. But what I was told, and I wasn't sure I was right on it anyway, was that even in your private group, so if somebody goes to Facebook, it'll show your regular website or Facebook page more readily. Does that make sense? I'm totally confused about this algorithm stuff anyway, so I might have it wrong. But that was what they were saying, is if you post in a private group, it helps your public page as well.
I haven't heard of that, but they're changing the algorithms all the time. So, and business pages on Facebook are like kind of archaic right now. Like people aren't like, basically Facebook just wants people doing paid advertising. And so the organic stuff on a regular business page is kind of like not doing much right now. But the group stuff is kind of the current way of like putting a lot of effort into groups, because that will get a lot more traction. So the private group is not ever going to get shared out anywhere, but also except for the people that are in the group. So yes, the more everyone posts in the group, the more Facebook will send a notice to people that are in the group. So this is what happens is that, so everyone, we've got like 34 people right now in our private group. Any one of us posts something in there, Facebook doesn't automatically share that to everyone in the group. It shares it to some people. It shares it to the people that have been interacting in there recently. And so the more interactions we can get and the more people we can get interacting, the more the people will get notified that there's action going on in there. And so Facebook algorithm is all about trying to predict what you care about seeing on Facebook. And so if you've been spending time in our private group and you've been commenting on stuff, Facebook goes, oh, you must like the stuff that's going on in here. We'll show you more of that. And if you haven't been spending any time in there, then you must not care about it. And so we're not going to tell you that Sharon posted something in there. So that's what the algorithm is about. It's just trying to figure out, because I don't know, do you all remember back in the day when the Facebook feed was just every one of your friends' posts you could see in real time? And basically it just got to this critical mass of like, there was too much happening with all of our friends that it couldn't show you that. And so now we have this algorithm of, it just selectively shows you, some of your friends' posts, instead of constantly updating the feed. And so, if you notice and pay attention, the posts you're going to see are from the friends that you interact the most with. And you might wonder like, oh, why haven't I seen Susie Joe's stuff in a while? Well, because you haven't commented on anything. So it's a snowball effect too. So, yeah, so the more, and Carmen's been posting in the group too, so I appreciate that. Yeah. So,
which I was going to comment on that, Carmen.
I wrote it. I just got the picture and I wrote the info, so I could manipulate that.
Yeah, I love that. I appreciate that. And it helps everyone. And again, if all you post something in there and you don't see a bunch of people commenting, just know that's why, right? Because they didn't even know anything got posted. So a good technique actually is like tag your mentees in there, at, and then tag them so they see it. So, and tag the other peer mentors too. And that way that'll get some more engagement, because then so when you tag somebody, they do get a notification of that. And then we can get some more engagement in there. And it's also a critical mass thing too. With only 34 people in a group, we're not going to have, tons and tons of stuff going on there anyway. So, and then just another little sneak peek of what's to come is that likely with the new program rebrand and enrollment, I'm going to start out with a pop-up Facebook group that will be open to the public. It will be like a 5-day challenge within that group that's free. And that's just meant to basically build up the people that are in there. It's also a technique of getting lower cost advertising, because I can advertise to the people in that group for a lower cost than just general people on Facebook. So when you guys see that pop up, join it. Just know that like you're not missing out on any secret program I'm doing or anything like that. But the more people in there, the better. And then, so, have daily Facebook lives in there. There'll be some teachings and things like that, little mini nuggets of stuff that will move them towards the point of needing to get into the program. And then the end of that will be then a webinar style workshop that everyone will get invited to. You all are welcome to come on that as well. Just know that as peer mentors, lifestyle coaches, you're going to get free access to the new program. So you're not, even if you don't make it on that workshop, you're not missing anything. You still get all that access to it. For anyone that's been a past client, they're going to get probably like 50% off of the new program price if they want to take advantage of that, or maybe even a bigger discount, and then full price for new people that have never been through it. So that's just so when you start to see those things, like, you'll know that's all part of the plan. You're not missing some secret thing I'm doing that I'm not telling you about. But it's all marketing strategy.
So the pop-up thing that's coming, it's not limited. We're not going to take somebody else's space if we join the pop-up group.
Right. Yeah. It's unlimited. There's, all of it's unlimited. Yeah. All right. Any other quick questions before we wrap this up? All right. Let's do our lightning bolt round and say goodbye and have a good week.
My lightning bolt was about those questions to move somebody along, even if they're fine.
I think that's the same thing as my lightning bolt was that even if they don't call you and say, okay, here's my problem, if they just say, I'm just fine, I wanted to give you some experience, the more you talk, the more you're going to come up with something to work on.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think everybody's got something. It just, you got to get through the layers to figure out what that might be.
My lightning bolt is the feel, felt, and found. I like that. I'll be using that.
Mm-hmm. Once I figured out how to do it again.
Feel, felt, found.
Yeah.
Both of those are very good lightning bolts. Is the feel, felt, found, and the people always have something.
Also, if any of you would like to do the laser coaching with each other, that's an option as well. Anyone want to, if you want to speak up now, or if you want to send me a message and I'll connect you with one of your other peer mentors for that. So, all right. Thank you everyone for everything. Thanks for being here. Back to basics, November. Everyone have a fantastic, wonderful day.
Thank you, you too. Bye, everyone.
See you soon.
Oh,
Bye.
wait.
Yeah.
Next week is Veterans Day. So I can confirm that we're still meeting.
Oh, say that again. You're cutting out a little bit, Penny.
She's muted.
I think I'm thinking of something about a holiday. So next Monday is Veterans Day, right?
Right.
I will still be here, unless the majority of you can't be here. Does anyone else have?
I'm fine. I'm in Canada.
Yeah, all these silly American holidays, right? I mean, they're not silly, but we honor our veterans, so that's not. I don't mean it silly that way, but yeah, so we'll still be here, Penny. But if you can't make it, no worries. Just let us know. So hopefully you can hear me. So all right.
Yeah, you just sent a message.
Okay. Take care, everyone. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.